Yeah, run through the crib. Run through the crib. Making rounds with my man Tuzzy. Everybody likes to punch him in the, riding in this crib. Everybody knows that I'm gonna wear a bib, yeah. This beat goes so hard. Go so hard, man. Gonna go to the kitchen and eat some lard. Yeah, I wanna put on 200 kilos right now. I wanna be a 300 kilo man right now. Right now. And when they ask me how, I'm gonna be like, I ate 200 kilos of lard. Wasn't really that hard. Everybody to the schoolyard, cause I'm gonna jump on the teacher and flatten her face. Cause I'm 300 kilos. Yeah, BCD type rap. That's where I go, man.
Yeah, that's where he goes, man. Yeah, I'm feeling hot, gonna have to fan me real quick, cause I'm steamy. Yeah, you know, I be thinking dreamy. Got all these dreams I want to achieve. My name is Tuzzy and I'm sitting next to my homie. His name is Mike. He rides a bike. That's what he does. He never has no fuss. What? Always going off on the beat. As you know me, I'm a fucking G, yeah. Top G, like Andrew Tate. Had to run that line back cause it was great, yeah. The line was sick. Those bars are crazy. Everybody looking at me knows that I'm lazy. Shout out Lazy Autos. Do their thing, yo. Yeah, my name is Tuzzy and I just flow. Flow on the beat like I'm a maniac. Yeah, give you a damn heart attack with all the darts I smoke every day. You know that I'll never be lame, yeah. Always relevant, always in my element. I'm the alphabet. Yeah.
Alphabet. My name is Eminem. Everybody knows that I like to eat M&Ms. Yeah, that guy reads a dictionary. He's probably scared of eating dairy. Lactose intolerant. Everybody knows that I like to go and rent my house. Sleep on a bed that's on the floor. Got no bed frame, man. Got no bed frame cause I am broke. When I sit on a tree, it's gotta be oak. Gotta be oak cause I'm broke. Gonna go and take a toke. A toke with my boy Tuzzy. Smoking these fads with him. These fun sticks. Shout out to the Fun Stick Company. Making these sweet sticks. Yeah. I'm so good at rapping. I'm the first round pick. Call me Mike. Call him Tuzzy. If you want a good rap than you, call us at the SKUNK TAKE Podcast. We need a question. So send them right through. You know what to do.
Yeah. You know what to do on the beat real quick. Tuzzy hops in a second. Yeah, shifting gears right to the second. Yeah, put you in the ground like a reverend. You smell it?
Is this his darts? Welcome to the SKUNK TAKE Podcast.
Like you're supposed to say it smells like...
No, I'm taking... Run the intro. All right. How's it going, everyone? Big Mikey is here with Big Tuzzy. And we're here having our fads, our fun sticks. Back in the lab. We're with Bombers the Bank Engine. Once again.
Represent.
Let's hear our question. And just a reminder to all our viewers, if you have a question, send it right through to our Instagram at the SKUNK Take. It would be greatly appreciated, and we try and answer all questions in one way or another. But let's hear the question.
So this comes from our good friend. What was his name?
I think his name is The Thenlo.
Yep.
The Thenlo. Let's see what The Thenlo had to say.
Yeah, let's see what he had to say.
Hi, guys. Do you think that money buys happiness?
Bro, that dude sounds like... Have you had your Intel Plus today?
Oh, mate. Thank you, the Thinlo, for that amazing question.
Yeah.
Money
Cool
buys
guy.
happiness.
Hung out with him heaps of times.
The Thensies. So money buys happiness. Do you think money buys happiness?
I think it gets you pretty damn near. I think it's probably the closest thing that can bring you happiness, right? Because it's like people's different definition of happiness, right? I'm happy if I know my family's all good and they don't ever have to worry about anything financially, right? That's when I'm happy.
Yeah.
So I think in that sense, yeah, money does buy happiness. But you hear a lot about, what about you? Do you reckon money buys happiness?
I think money does buy happiness. But I don't know how sustainable it is.
What do you mean by that?
So, I mean, you hear it all the time. Like, I try and stay, well informed with different topics. And a topic that I've, gone into the YouTube rabbit hole with is like rich people, just like interviews and podcasts. And like a lot of them say that once you get to a certain level, happiness is very hard to acquire when you're rich.
Right.
So I think, money can buy happiness, but to a certain extent.
Yeah. Actually, I've heard about something along those lines. Like, there's like rich ass people that, like, they're rich as fuck. Like, I went down this rabbit hole of like lotto winners, and like they won the lotto, they're set, but like they can't do anything with their mates because their mates are just working like 9 to 5s and like So whatever they want to do, they have access to all these crazy experiences, but they can't do them with their friends because they're trying to work. They're trying to, I guess your funds would run out quick if you're trying to sustain someone, and not like your friends would kind of accept that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do see it in that sense. I've heard from a lot of rich people that like a lot of people around you change, and you become subject to like a lot of like fake personalities enter your life.
Yeah.
And a lot of people enter your life from the standpoint of getting something from you, which is kind of weird for us to think about, right? Because, I mean, I'm sure people have experienced that, I don't know, with like bad relationships or something like that. That's probably like the closest thing you can, it's like most similar to. But like, imagine like having like genuine connection with someone that you think it's like genuine, but in reality they're just after like your friendship for your money.
Yeah, I feel like dating if you're rich would be so hard. Like
that's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, like as soon as your partner finds out, like it just changes the whole dynamic for a lot of people. Not with everyone. It's not impossible. I don't think, but
because a lot of artists have girlfriends, right?
Yeah, but like you look at Hollywood, like the divorce rate in Hollywood's like 100%.
Fuck,
it's not true. That's not a real number, but it seems like it. Like every actor is like always divorcing his wife.
Yeah, true. Especially in like showbiz.
Yeah. And I
feel
feel
like everyone's been with everyone. They've divorced from someone, everyone.
Well, like I was watching this interview with Dan Bilzerian, and he was just saying there's all this like controversy about him being a fraud and all that kind of stuff. But pretty much in the interview, he was just saying like once you get to a certain stage where you can like afford anything, like stuff just gets boring.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, you could try stuff once. Like I've never had A5 Wagyu steak, right? It's one of the things that I really want to try. I probably I can afford to. I just like it'd take a long time to think about it. I'd probably want to do it like in a proper setting, like in Japan or something, where they like actually serve it properly, all that kind of stuff. But like, yeah, so money can buy me that experience, right? But once you buy all these experiences, you've had the best steak in the world. Everything now, every other steak after that is just like, no, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. And every other meal that you have, every experience that you have will just be all right.
Yeah.
Like everyday life will just become like so mundane. And that's pretty much what he was saying is like, look, you get the best food, the best experiences. It's Dan Bilzerian, so like the best women. And after that, after you get the best of everything, then there's nothing that like, it's very hard to push that bar to the next level, right? Like with us, it's like, it'd be pretty easy to push the bar to the next level. Because if you're so rich, like imagine you get $1 billion to you right now, your family's handled, everything's all good, like they're handled. like you try everything that you've ever wanted to try. You buy a drift track, whatever. You can just chill and just watch anime for like 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
You've seen everything, right? What next?
Yeah. Well, that's actually a discussion I was having with my brother, where he brought up a good point and kind of changed my mind on it. Where it's like, you need to have something to work towards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to have something to aim for. And that's what kind of keeps people sane, right? Like, aiming, like going to work and like, you're making enough to get by. And maybe, you know, to splurge a little on, you know, some things that you may like. You know what I mean? Or you can work towards goals, right? But when you have everything, like your purpose is kind of gone. You know what I mean? Because you're not working towards anything. That's why I think a lot of business people, like like people that, you know, run these massive businesses is like, because you always see it, right? You always see like these rich ass people looking for more to make more money.
Yeah.
Because what else are they gonna fucking do?
Exactly.
Everything else is sorted with the money they have. It's like, fuck it. The only thing that actually still challenges me today, still gives me purpose to keep moving forward, is to make this even bigger and even bigger.
And then like that's why you always see these comments like, oh, aren't you like, or like in rich people's comments or like celebrities or whatever, like, oh, aren't you doing enough stuff?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're rich enough. Like, why? And you see people think that as well. Like, oh, like if I was at the Rocks level where I'm worth like 400 mil, why would I like try and do this or do this? It's because like, what else are they going to do?
Yeah, legit.
They've had the best of everything.
Yeah. You're already at the fucking top, so nothing really, like, what's your drive? What's your purpose? You know what I mean? I guess, like there's always that side of like, giving back to the community and helping, which I don't know why, because there's always people that need help.
Yeah. I don't know why that's not a bigger thing.
Yeah.
Like if I'm worth $1 billion, right? And I get the best of everything. I buy literally whatever I want, eat whatever I want. How much can I realistically spend in my whole entire lifetime?
True.
Right? Especially if I'm not buying stuff, like if I'm not buying like a $300 million yacht.
Yeah.
Right? If I'm not buying stuff, I'm just renting the yacht. Maybe I'll buy some houses or whatever. How am I going to spend all that money? Like, let's break it down a little bit.
Yeah.
I got $1 billion right now. I'll buy a house in where I like near the area where I live.
Yeah.
Stay near my parents, pay off my parents' mortgage, all that kind of stuff. You know, give my mates, my family some money. Maybe get some on payroll just to hang out with me because.
Yeah. Are you taking applications?
Yeah. And probably hire a driver, buy some nice cars, maybe buy a few places overseas. All of that together just in 1 year, I've probably spent 50, 60 million. That's if I'm going really hard.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's just like ongoing costs of just doing the same kind of stuff. So I don't think I'd exceed that. So I don't think I'd even go on like max craziness. I wouldn't be able to spend $1 billion in a lifetime. So I don't understand why all these like billionaires, especially if their money's not locked in stocks.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's a different.
Yeah. Because it's
question.
like they're worth.
Yeah. It's like it's a dumbass argument. But if you have $1 billion in cash, why not try and give back? Why not build your legacy?
Well, didn't Elon Musk have that thing where he's like, if you prove to me that $1,000 to everyone is going to fix everything, then I'll pay it.
Yeah, I think he tweeted at the UN and is like, look, you said you needed this much to solve world hunger. I'll donate you that much if you show me how exactly you're going to use it. And then they reframed it and they're like, oh, we need $3 billion a year. So
the UN got called out by Elon Musk.
Pretty much, yeah. And they wouldn't publicly reveal what they wanted to do because he's like, oh, just show us, like put it on the blockchain, like have it like be public. Everyone can see how every single cent is spent. Right. So it's not going to like BS, like admin fees and all this crap. Like we can all see how, like where it goes and when it like is spent. And then they kind of backed out and he obviously didn't give them the money.
Yeah.
But like if I got $1 billion, I'd full on like I'd be like upgrading like schools, naming every freaking building after myself.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna build you this hall. It's gonna be called the Mike Sue Hall now.
Yeah.
That's not my name though. Did I just dox myself? Oh my god. But yeah, I'm literally doing that. I'm naming everything after myself, buildings in the city until I run out of money.
Yeah.
Like supporting youth programs, whatever. Like
Yeah.
so people can say like,
But I don't want to be on the ground doing that kind of stuff.
mm,
I wouldn't want to just like throw money. I'd be like, all right, show me where you need it.
yeah,
Because like I think a lot of like charities like kind of sus.
yeah. I'd do my due diligence.
Mm.
I'd be like, I'm gonna find the cheapest construction company. They're gonna build this thing out of matchsticks to build this hall for this school.
Mm.
It'll fall down at any side of wind, but I've cut my costs down to like the minimum. But yeah, what do you think about charities? Like, would you personally, like, you got $1 billion? Are you donating money to charity?
Probably not.
How are you giving back?
I'd probably establish my own.
Mhm.
Just because you don't know where that fucking money goes. Hey,
Yeah,
you just don't know. Like if you want to help someone, like you could probably help someone with like 10 grand.
you can help most people with 10 grand.
Yeah.
If I got 10 grand right now, I'll be over the moon.
Yeah. But like you could genuinely like help, people out. Like you go to like, Africa or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where it's like a third world country. You just go to like a third world country.
Yeah.
And like, some people's living conditions there are just like so poor. Even with 10 grand, you could like make these like, shelters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't see why there's not more investment into like countries like that.
Yeah.
Like, why not? Like, if you're a billionaire, you could be on the ground floor of the next Melbourne.
Yeah.
Like, you could build the next, like, because the populations in Africa aren't small either. Like, you have cities with millions of people. You could easily upgrade everything, work with the people there,
Well, that's what
educate them. Like, it's like you need a long ass time
Yeah.
horizon there.
That's what's his name? Was it Akon?
Yeah.
Yeah, he like supplied electricity to like
Yeah. Akon's using his wealth well.
Yeah.
He's trying to like build up, I can't remember what city, but like, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like proof, but it's strange that like a lot more people don't do that.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of these people are like hoarding wealth.
Yeah.
But I don't know for what reason.
Because like if you're looking for that, like you said, once you've experienced everything, if you're looking for that next thing, it's like just helping all these people.
Are you giving your kids money?
No. If I'm rich, no.
Like, Dad, I want some money.
If they come to me with a good business idea, I'll work with them on it.
Mm-hmm.
But they're growing up the same way I grew up.
How about in the will? Like, are you leaving the money in the will?
That's interesting. Yeah.
How much? The whole
Probably
thing?
a lot of it, yeah. Just because the idea of like future generations
Yeah.
also not having to like worry about it. But I'd want to know that like I've raised a member of my family with the same mindset that I have in like, well, I think people need to experience struggle because
Yeah.
I think struggle is the biggest growth, like the growth factor. Like I think what depends on if you're grown as a person or not is how much you've struggled in your life. And if I'd raised my kid like that, and he knew the importance and value of that, then yeah, I'd probably leave.
Well, what if your kid's a brat? Like an absolute brat?
He's just not getting anything.
Like, what do you like? Are you gonna do anything as they grow up?
Outlandish?
Like-
Yeah, I'm gonna send him to a public school. I'm gonna like our house is gonna be like just some fucking rundown fucking piece of shit home. And like we're gonna barely get by on groceries. They're kids. How the fuck are they gonna know that I'm a multimillionaire? I don't mind living that life,
Yeah.
right? Because I don't need to work.
I was okay thinking of doing that too.
Yeah. I'd be living in some fucking rundown ass house, not repairing anything, like rough ass neighborhood. You know what I mean?
You know, I've always like thought like, mate, what if when I turn like 25 or whatever, or like if you were like a teenager, I always thought, I didn't always think this, but like I thought this occasionally when I was younger. I was like, what if I turn 18 and my parents like tell me the truth that like we're actually billionaires? Like, how would I react? Because obviously at that point I'm like mostly formed as like an adult. Like
Yeah.
there's still a bit of growth and all that kind of stuff, but I wasn't a brat. You know what I mean? I wasn't like a spoiled rich kid. Because yeah. And what if I found out we were billionaires? What would I do? So what would you do?
I never really had that, but what I would do with the
Like
mindset
you
I
found
have
out
now,
tomorrow. Like, yeah.
that'd just be like, all right, let me some money. I'm gonna make this business thing, and I'm gonna do this myself. I'm gonna fucking make as much as you've made myself, and then that's probably what I do. I definitely look for like, but I guess there's a bit of a beauty in the sense of like through the struggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I wouldn't ask for too much.
Yeah. And I've been thinking about it as well. Like, you see, like everyone talks about, oh, I want to leave money for my grandkids and all that kind of stuff, like in the next generation. But the families that are like super, super wealthy, their grandkids and great grandkids almost always blow all their wealth and they never amount to anything.
I think for me, it'd be more so peace of mind, knowing that we're okay and that I can chase my passions or my dreams or whatever goals or aspirations I have without any fear of consequence.
Right.
I think that's what that would mean to me.
Yeah. I think that with the whole billionaire kid thing, you'd have to set up like a very watertight system, because this will or this plan that you have to make sure everyone's okay, it's not going to get executed for like 100 years. Like it's going to be like generations down the line. And like, how much money do they really need? And how many generations do you really need to think of? Because like even us, we didn't grow up rich. We turned out fine. So what's the need for the future generations to grow up rich? Like, yeah, you can support them, which is why I'm like, I think about someone like Warren Buffett, right? He is old, right? He's old. He's worth billions and billions of dollars, has billions in cash. Why does he need that much?
Yeah.
He's going to cark it like in the near future.
How long until Warren Buffett carks it?
Bro, have you seen his diet? Watch it. There's YouTube videos about his diet. He eats, I can't remember what meal, but he eats McDonald's every morning for breakfast.
Yo, that's my guy.
He drinks like copious amounts of like just full sugar Coke.
Fucking
he has
oath.
like, I think there's this famous steakhouse in New York that he goes to. I don't know what it's called. And it's famous because obviously he goes there like almost like every other day. And he orders like some sort of like ribeye steak or something from there, like a fat steak. So he pretty much eats McDonald's and steak every day. He doesn't look like he's in the best shape either. Drinks a lot of Coke too. Real American.
King.
So I don't know how long he's going to last health-wise. But like, why does someone like him need this crazy amount of wealth? Because all that's going to happen is that the wealth's going to funnel down to his kids. Sure, some of them might be like, oh yeah, let's like build something out of this. Let's continue the legacy. But I'm sure that if you grow up and you know that, oh, all my needs are being met, everything I ever want to buy, I can have. What is your goal going to be? Because for us, we're like, oh, we want to grind, make money to be able to afford whatever we want.
You're thinking as in if you
if we were a rich
if
kid.
you were a kid, yeah. You know, yeah. Well, that's a good point. Like you wouldn't need to do shit. Like you would just
Like you want to go drifting, you can just buy a car and do it, and just burn through money. You don't ever need a job.
You're not even burning through money. Yeah.
And then you raise your kids knowing that you had this lifestyle and all this wealth, and that if the money feels like it doesn't run out,
Yeah.
you don't think that's going to rub off on your kids too?
Exactly. Yeah. That's dangerous.
2-3 generations down the line.
Yeah. It's all gone.
Yeah.
Because no one's working. No one's bringing any more in.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I think about too. Like, why do these like really rich people need that? Like, why is that the thought process?
Yeah. You know what I've like just talking about this, you know what I've thought of? Like if you could set up some kind of like a trust bank for fucking billionaires that assures when they pass, you sign the will over to them and they give money to your family for generations, but in increments of like what the average like household income is for a given family.
Well, it's crazy because like this whole idea of like building wealth and like money in the bank, that kind of thing, that's like pretty new.
Mm.
You know, like the stock market hasn't, it's only like what, like 150 years old. That's only from the oldest of each generation. Like you're born 150 years ago when the stock market was created.
Mm.
You might only have 2 generations there. Like someone turns 80, their son then turns like, or their like grandson turns 80 as well. Like that's now. You know what I mean? Like there's still people alive who were alive 100 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the stock market hasn't been around for that long. Banking hasn't been around for like modern banking as we know it hasn't been around for that long. The whole like trust system and like trust funds and that kind of stuff hasn't been around for that long either. Like I guess I don't even know if like any, because usually they do it through lawyers, right? They get lawyers to distribute the wealth after like someone dies, and they are kind of like the people who control the execution of the will.
Yeah.
I don't even know if law firms have existed for like any law firm has existed for over like 200 years. Like who would I feel comfortable like being like, okay, let's pay this trust or pay this legal team to execute my will? No one, because I don't even know if 100 years down the line if they'll even exist.
Right.
And then all that will happen, right, if one legal firm shuts down, whoever is in control at that point, they can just vote for some random legal firm and then they just execute the will however they want. You know what I'm saying? That's probably what would happen.
Yeah, I guess we haven't really figured out like a future, like a strong future.
Because stuff just keeps changing, man.
Yeah.
Like
That's very interesting.
When you think on the generational level, so much has changed in the last 100 years.
Yeah.
100 years before that, like we're in the Industrial Revolution. Before that, it was like medieval times.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Or like the Renaissance or whatever. I don't know history. But yeah, like who from like that time period, 1700s, who built wealth then and is still like rich, fueling money for their family now? Like no one.
I mean, the Rockefellers are pretty rich.
Yeah, but even their wealth is getting like diluted because like you have to think about it too. Like you have one guy, he has, you know, especially back then it was like multiple kids. Let's say 2 kids. Each one has 2 kids, right? One guy, you start off with 2 kids, so you split the wealth in half. They each have 2 kids each. They then split that half into another half.
That's
so
four,
that next generation each gets a quarter.
Yeah.
And again, it's like you're splitting it in like half each time.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And like by the time you get to like 4 or 5 generations, that's like
It's been split so many times.
that it's like not that much.
Yeah.
And people are wasting it along the way too. So I just don't think the whole like passing down wealth through generations, like that honestly it's good for the generation directly after. But after that, I feel like it's like a recipe for just.
But what if you make
For
like,
brats.
what if you start a family tradition?
Yeah.
So they're like
That
within,
would work.
for the first 18 years, you make it mandatory for every member of your family to go through this like business mindset course that teaches them to start up their own shit and run their
Force
own
them to
shit.
go in the military.
Yeah, or force them to go somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that honestly not be a bad idea either.
Where it's like, this is family tradition, it's heritage, it's passed on from father to son, from father to son. Right?
Yeah. That being said, look, I'm still very much like I want to build wealth for future generations too. So it's not like I can talk. I just don't understand.
But I wish I could somehow like transfer my want for initially building wealth to my future generations.
Yeah.
So that they could use what I've done as tools to make it for themselves.
Like even with you, like I don't know how I feel about this, but like your great grandparents, right? Like hypothetically, if they were rich, do you have any connection to them?
My great grandparents. So my
Parents.
My grandparents' parents.
Yeah. Yeah, me neither. I don't even know who they are.
No.
I know my grandparents, that's it. I don't know my great, and then even a generation beyond that, your great grandparents.
Yeah.
I have no idea what their names are. I don't even know what they look like.
No.
So like, you might try and spread this like whole thing, but like after a few generations, like it's essentially going to disappear. Like your great grandkids are like, probably going to have they're not going to care about you. They've never met you.
Yeah.
So why would they live on your like
that's
rationale?
fucking crazy to think about.
Yeah.
I know none of my fucking family.
Yeah. Like I have no clue. Like I could walk past them on the street. I could have a full conversation with them.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not alive, but I could, if they were alive, I could do that. I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, that's fucking blown my mind. Holy shit, bro.
And I think that like,
so all these guys, like, one of my great grandparents could have been like a fucking like world fucking class sprinter, or like could have had all these achievements.
Yeah.
And I fucking know nothing about.
yeah,
Like they could have made these sacrifices. They could have had all this, all these emotional events happen to them, and I could fucking know nothing about it.
yeah, pretty much.
That shit's fucking crazy to me.
Like,
We gotta
find our great grandparents.
No, we're gonna initiate our own Skunk Take podcast question. We're gonna talk about that.
Grandparents.
We're gonna dedicate an episode to that. Because that just blew my fucking mind.
Yeah. And to answer the Thenlo's question, I think that money can buy happiness, but I think there are other things that are more fulfilling that give you more happiness, more
Like what?
sustained happiness. Finding a passion. Like if you're really passionate about something, you could do that forever. Like you hear artists talk about it all the time. Like, oh, they could paint all the time. Even if it's for no money, they could just paint because it's like what they like to do.
Yeah.
I'm sure like you with cars and like drifting and driving and stuff, like you could, if you had an unlimited fuel card and you could like, you had like access to a card that let you hire any car that you ever wanted just for a day to just try out, and you still like were able to buy your own cars and stuff, you could drive every day.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't get, it's not something you'd be like, oh, I'm bored of, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, so I think a passion will give you like a lot of fulfillment and happiness. And I think when you get rich, especially super rich, like I'm sure this is not the case for everyone, but I feel like a lot of them don't have something they're super passionate about. Because I think a lot of like passion, just that I see, is like people want to do something, but they can't afford to do it all the time. So they become really passionate about it so much to the point where they spend their free time doing it. When you're rich, there's not that kind of like dynamic.
Yeah.
But you can still be a rich painter and all that kind of stuff. So I guess like you can have a passion, but I don't know. I might be wrong. Obviously like love and stuff, family.
Health.
Yeah, health. So there's like a bunch of different stuff that can make you happier for a more sustained, more consistent thing. I guess like trying to acquire your version of success as well. Just like having goals can provide happiness.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like subject to like, I guess that question is subject to like what you define as happiness, right?
Yeah. And just one more thing, like I think all the things that I listed as well, they aren't like the whole passion thing. That doesn't come straight away. Like the reason that a lot of people get their passions is because of the hardship associated with trying to get there, like the hardship of like affording a car.
Yeah.
And afford like modifying your car, like buying new parts every week or like however often you can afford them and installing them yourself because like, you can't get some like crazy mechanic to do it.
Yeah.
Like artists, like they try and make money from it, but it's like not many people like their art. Like the hardships associated with that hobby or that task are what make the things that you do even more sweet.
I agree.
It's like when you play COD. Like, have you ever played COD offline and you can get like any gun that you want?
Yeah.
It's kind of boring because you can just get like, oh, I can put on the gold camo.
Yeah.
Who cares? But like when you're playing online and you have to actually unlock it, it's
Grind
like
it.
way more like fulfilling having that gold camo.
100%.
I guess that's the whole passion thing.
Yeah.
So I guess like hardships that come along with it. And like when you're really rich, there's not really that much hardship.
No.
Which is maybe why they're not as happy.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah. So But yeah, money for most people, like if you gave literally most people in Australia like 50 racks, they're over the moon.
Yeah.
Like in the world.
Because a lot of worries that they have are handled.
Exactly. All the immediate hardships,
Yeah.
which is what makes the money sweeter.
Yeah.
If you're in that level where you don't have any hardships because you're that rich, then it's just like, oh yeah, extra zero in my bank account.
Yeah.
My quality of life hasn't changed.
At all, yeah.
What I do hasn't changed. The way that I feel about stuff doesn't change either. But if I'm given like an Indian guy who's like in the slums, 50 racks, that changes his life.
Yeah.
That gets him out of like insane struggle.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what's crazy? Australia has like, I think it's top 3 richest countries in the world.
Right. Wow.
Like per person.
Yeah, wow.
Because I mean, we have access to like Centrelink and, you know, our GDP, like all that kind of stuff. Like we also get super, like they put money into our super for us. Like we're automatically the richest country just because of the whole super thing.
Right.
Like we build the most wealth. We might think being rich is like $1 billion. Someone in India or someone in Africa who's like in the slums, they think we're rich.
Yeah.
Because we're the richest country in the world. The average citizen is like thousands of times richer than the average citizen in
third world countries.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I guess it's a perspective thing 100%. As well.
I agree. Because like you always hear about like, you know, people, they go to Bali. They're like, fuck bro, everything's so cheap.
Yeah.
I feel like a king.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. It's all based on perspective.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that that's part of like the whole money buying happiness.
Yeah, I agree.
Argument. Yeah.
Yeah.
Skunk Take Podcast.
Good chat. Great chat, Mike.
Thanks to the Thenlo.
Thanks to the Thenlo.
Thank you for that insightful question. Sorry if we went a little bit off topic, mate.
Yeah. Like I always say, love your name. Fucking sick name.
Yeah. Shout out then Thenlo.
Yeah. Then Thenlo. Thank you, mate.
Yeah. That's the end of the podcast.
Smell you on the next one.
Smell you later.